Ape brothers and sisters alike, my name is Tyler and welcome back to the channel for another very important AMC update video. So in this video, we are only going over two very important things. We're going to keep it nice, short, and sweet for you guys. And the first thing is the potential for a gamma squeeze, or more or less a gamma push, coming tomorrow. And I do think we could have a significant pop based off of this to close out the rest of this trading week. Obviously, tomorrow is the last day of trading, so I think this is very important to go over. We're going to go over the option chain, the open interest, break down the numbers that you guys need to know and what I expect to happen tomorrow, as well as we have to address this running theory that AMC may be trading in between $5,000 and $8,000 on an off-market exchange somewhere. And I have a very interesting opinion on this, so you guys will definitely want to stay tuned for that. The only thing that I ask in exchange for this video though is you hit that like button for me and consider subscribing to the channel if you like the video. But first things first, let's acknowledge this gamma squeeze potential that I do think we have for tomorrow. And for a lack of a better word, I'm gonna call this a gamma push. But first off, to do that, we have to recognize where we are at as far as the technicals are concerned and how this does align with what I am saying. Now, we see about 5 touches at this $40 resistance level. This is proven to be a huge resistance level. We see a lot of short sellers coming in, as well as naked short sellers, if I were to imagine synthetic short positions being created at this $40 price, as well as algorithmic trading programs that just do not want to see AMC stock go over $40. I don't think apes are selling. This trade is very much alive, but I do think we have a strong potential to break out even to about $45 on the higher end coming to close out Friday. Keep in mind, we typically see a red day on Thursday like we did see today, dropping about 2.5%. We also usually typically see a red day on Friday, so it is really up in the air, but the data is on our side here when we are talking about a potential gamma push. So when we do come to the option chain, keep in mind that $40 price point. On the $40 strike expiring obviously tomorrow, we're seeing 23,000 for open interest. That is 2.3 million potential shares that would have to be bought by market makers. Now, it is very important to keep in mind the premium that we are paying for these contracts. So considering if a lot of this open interest did come for the day, which I do think that's the case, we had about 50,000 for volume just for today alone. So there's a lot of traders that are betting on us going over $40 for Friday. But keep in mind, like I said, the premium we are paying is about $40. So if the market makers, like I do think, are taking about 90% of the back end of the open interest, meaning they have to sell you 100 shares at $40, the only way they can do that is by buying the stock. That is essentially where you do get this gamma squeeze and a bit of a gamma push. But like I said, with the premium, their true break even is about $40.40. The premium that you are paying for these contracts currently is $39. So their true break even here, like I said, is about $40.40. So I don't think you're going to see a lot of activity until you do break over $40. Probably about $40.30. You're going to see a lot of buys coming in from the market makers. Like I said, if you do just do the math here, right? If you consider, like I usually typically consider, about 90% of this open interest is through market makers actually keeping the options market liquid. About 10%, I would say, are people that are just selling covered calls, agreeing to sell the stock at this price by this day. And if it doesn't happen, they keep the free premium like the market makers have been doing this whole time around. But if you take this 23,000 for open interest, times this by 100, you come out to, like I said, 2.3 million shares, and then times this by 0.90, that would be 90%. You come out to 2,070,000 shares that would potentially have to be bought by market makers if, like I said, we can get to about $40.30. It may be around $40, but I'm thinking the market makers, they're probably not going to want to buy all these shares once you do even get close to 40, so they're probably going to let this run over $40 like we have been seeing. In the meantime, they're just trying to short the stock down enough to keep the share price down to not oblige for all these contracts, because 23,000 contracts that are currently almost in the money, really, we're at $37.83. Excuse me for that, guys, but we are very close to this price point. So if we see a big jump in AMC share price, it is probably due to this gamma push activity, but as well as the $41 strike, 42, 43, 43 and a half, 44 and up to 45, you're seeing a significant level of open interest. 1162 for the lowest at $44.50, which is going to happen on the 50 cent odd strikes. But for the 41, 42, you're seeing almost 8,000 a piece in open interest. And then at the 45, you're seeing 12,175. Keep in mind, 12,000 for open interest is 1.3 or almost 1.3 million shares, but really 1.2 million shares that would potentially have to be bought by market makers. So if we do see a huge jump in AMC share price, it is likely due to this gamma push activity. Now, to acknowledge the running rumor that AMC may potentially be trading at $8,010 somewhere on an off-market exchange, it is very important first and foremost to understand exactly what an off-market exchange is, or just overall what a dark pool is, because this is an off-market exchange. There is about 59 of them that are registered with FINRA and the SEC, but this does say when you do just Google, can prices be different from lit exchanges, the ones that we trade, NASDAQ, S&P, Dow, all these lit exchanges, rather than dark pools and off-market exchanges, it says off-market prices may be far from the public market. The prices at which trades are executed in dark pools may diverge from prices displayed in public markets, which puts retail investors at a huge disadvantage. Now, when you do come to the screenshot that everybody is talking about, let me just zoom into this yet again. We got to go to 200%. This is the best way that I can present this to you guys. Now, this is the whole screenshot. Like I said, that is the running rumor here, and it is kind of weird in my opinion that it does come out to the same price, $8,010. You're seeing almost $3.4 billion bought by, who is this, Schwab, and 422,561 shares at and comes out to $8,010 per share. Pretty much the same thing for, who is this, Fidelity, and then the same thing for Charles Schwab yet again, all coming out to $8,010. Now, is this even possible? That is the big question. Now, if you do come to the SEC, you search through all these filings with the SEC. I'm not even gonna get into that too much, but it pretty much says that depending on the price of the stock, you could see about a 10% difference from dark pools, off exchanges, and the actual lit exchanges, but they try to keep this pretty much the same price. Now, we do know, I'm not here to say this is definitely not possible. That is simply not the case. This could 100% be possible. We don't have any definitive proof because Fintel has come out and said that basically they just get this data from the 13F filings and it's all pretty much automatic, and they pretty much said that this was just a misrepresentation on the 13F filings of Charles Schwab and Fidelity that did put out these 13F filings, basically a mess up on their part but not on Fintel's part. But like I said, I am not here to say this is not possible. This could 100% be possible. I think it's highly unlikely because why would hedge funds or big firms like Charles Schwab and Fidelity be trading shares for $8,000 when they are on the open market for $38? It doesn't make too much logical sense, but there is a lot of fraud and manipulation that does go on behind the scenes. So this is 100% possible, theoretically possible, but until we get more definitive proof of what the actual real price is on the dark pools, this is very hard to trust, and I would just take this with a grain of salt. Now, do I think the price is different on off-market exchanges? Yes, I do. I think, like I said, it's probably over 10% different, whether it's lower or higher on the dark pools. My running speculative theory, the reason why we haven't seen this short squeeze yet and why we've seen so many failure to delivers, naked short selling, synthetic short selling, is because essentially the market makers like Citadel, nobody wants to get sued here, so this is a running theory, only a theory, not a proven fact yet, probably will be at some point into the future, but they're essentially taking our payment for order flows, holding them, so when you are actually buying the stock, you're not actually getting the stock, even though it looks like you are, and you could obviously trade that if you wanted to, you could buy it and sell it, but essentially they're getting your payment for order flows, they are holding the buys while they do let out the sells in the open markets, then they are buying the stock for you at a lower price, or just doing this same thing with the dark pools and the open exchanges, literally selling your orders on the open markets, but taking your actual buy orders to the dark pools, because as we do know, the the orders in the dark pools, they don't necessarily influence the price of the open market at all. It has zero correlation between the two. That is why dark pools are a thing, and off-market exchanges do exist for large hedge funds and institutional investors to swap large amounts of shares without influencing the share price of the stock. So that is my overall opinion here. That is what I do think for a push tomorrow as far as a gamma push is concerned, or a gamma squeeze, whatever you guys want to call it. I just say gamma push for a lack of a better word. But that is going to conclude this video. If you like my opinion and analysis on the situation, make sure to hit that like button as well as comment down below. Let me know what you're doing with your AMC position, while at the same time considering subscribing to the channel. Also, if you guys want to get totally free stock in a brand new brokerage that does not accept payment for order flow through any hedge fund, institution, or market maker, check out the link down below for public. No deposit necessary, no need to link a bank account. Get up to $70 in your choice free stock, and it only takes about 3 minutes time to get your free stock. So that is highly recommended. If you guys have not signed up with that, it is literally by definition free money. You can't go wrong. Usually get about $10 in your choice free stock. I have got all the way up to $58, about $60 with the most that I've got with a referral link. So highly recommend you guys do that. But that is going to conclude this video. I will see you guys in the next one.